Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, market cap took a bit of a beating, but it skyrocketed first. Lots happened. Caught a nasty case of the flu, still getting over it. But going to talk about a few key points I wanted to get across today because I see what's happening rapidly across the market. First, I'm going to dive into what just happened. Basically, we were up to like 850 bill, and overnight, the market crashed. Bitcoin, dropped 2,000. Ethereum's holding well. Ethereum went well over close to 1,300, could even went higher, and basically didn't really feel the crash too hard. So that's interesting. Ripple's crashing hard. Bitcoin Cash is crashing hard. Pretty much every other coin, you have your green spurts. Nebula, not too much. Stratus is over $20 now. But other than that, a lot of red. A lot of this is timed. You already know how I feel about it. This is when a lot of, just trying to, you can only get Bitcoin one way, right? FUD, shake it out, force people to sell. You would be surprised. It is remarkably hard to buy bulk Bitcoin during a bull market when everyone's wanting it. It's very tough. And you're competing, if you're a billionaire, if you're competing against other billionaires during a bull market, it's almost impossible. So, this does not surprise me. Every time I see this, I just picture this. They're just shaking and trying to get what they can before it just keeps going inevitably up. This is not slowing down at all. People, we're at 734 billion. When I said there's no more prediction, the lid is off. It's just going to keep going up. This is what mainstream adoption looks like. It's very eerie, but it happens overnight. It happens very quickly. This is what's happening. Not really paying attention. What am I doing? Basically, I got rid of not a lot, but I shook some of my exchanges out, sold a lot of those altcoins I didn't have heavy positions in, and I loaded up on some Bitcoin just to see what happens. I had a feeling that there was something like this was going to happen. The market, just going up and up and up. The billionaires don't want, they want to get theirs. So they don't mind all that because they realize the more it goes up, the more fish that's going to attract for the sharks to eat. And then they shake it and then the fish, they dump. So what am I doing? I'm basically looking, headhunting, but I'm also, a lot of people right now are chasing the next 10x. And I understand that's fine. Next 100x, whatever you want to call it. But one of the fundamental flaws I see is they don't leave core positions. So you'll have people who've made a decent amount of money, and what they're doing is instead of keeping core positions, Bitcoin, Ethereum, something stable, they're going all in, even if it's in a variety of ways, 4 or 5 ways, different ICOs, yada, yada, yada. Always chasing that, believing that, I've ridden this horse so far. How much further can the horse ride? Might as well get a new horse. The only difference is if you don't keep those core positions that you believed in over time, that put in the work, because ICOs a lot of them are fugazi. A lot of them are going to work. A lot of them aren't, though. There's a lot of things out there that have stood the test of time. And crypto is very hard. The test of time is very hard. If you've been around longer than a year, that's a big, big deal in crypto, in my opinion, let alone some of these OGs up here at the top. And what happens is if you miss a few, it's like quicksand, right? Because Bitcoin and Ethereum, all these are just going to keep rising like the tide, right? And if you're not keeping those core positions, it can get very dangerous when these things 2, 3x over time, and maybe you miss a few of those 10x's. Before you know it, you're in a very dangerous spot where you don't have any core positions, and you're in a lot of fugazi where you're not 100% sure what's going to happen. Yeah, I played that when I first got into it. It was a lot easier when I got into it, though. Now it's a little bit harder. Be very wary when every ICO is a 10x. 20x. This happened before. This is just like the crypto market. I remember anytime you can throw into an ICO and you're going to get money back. And then there was like this little bear market where every ICO fucking just sucked. And now we're seeing this rise of the ICO again. It changes very quickly. And the last to see it are the ones that get burned. So just be very, very careful is all I'm saying moving forward without, keeping core positions. I'm a big fan of core positions. Also, know when to get your rest in when you're talking about consistency, because it's very easy to just stress out and think, man, I'm missing all these gains. Right? I like to look at it as you're on a boat and you're in the sea. Excuse me, I got a fucking sore ass throat. But just you're on a boat, right? And you see a bunch of fish. Now you can celebrate the fact that there's a bunch of fish to catch. Or you could be like, man, look at all these fish that I might not catch, that I'm missing, yada, yada, yada. It's a frantic mind state. Man, you got to be cool, calm, collect. It's kind of crazy. It's like handing a shaking person a gun, trying to save them their lives, and they're too, they're too frantic. They're not in the right mindset. It really wears you down. Man, you're going to miss out on a lot of gains. I cannot preach that enough. The best miss out on the most. However, they're the most consistent with not losing. If you're not losing in this game and you're rapidly multiplying, you don't have to be right a ton before you start building massive wealth. So the mindset is absolutely crucial. Time to relax. This is a lot of people still pinching themselves. They can't believe, like, are they really at the beginning? I believe so. Like I said, this isn't financial advice at all. But it's very easy. I saw what happened with Facebook. I saw how easy it is for new technology to just rapidly take over the world. Like, I was like, man, this Mark Zuckerberg kid, he made a platform and it took over the world. I mean, literally everywhere. Like, it's so big. It's in everyday life. It's just as popular as anything, bread. It's amazing. So that's when I saw this. I was like, man, something like Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency. And now you're starting to see the dependence on Bitcoin isn't there as much, because a lot of these coins are starting to take off in their own directions. And, they're not trying to be payment centers. They're trying to be, a lot of different things. There's so many different use cases. And we're starting to see them all branch off, and it's going to be beautiful heading into 2020. Then Bitcoin, the market's not going to be so heavily dependent, and you're going to have a lot more pairs. Atomic swaps are hopefully going to be really big and easy to implement. So before you know it, exchanges are going to be less relied upon, which is good, because a lot of people who want to buy right now and they can't. It's going to be very interesting what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. I think we're just getting started with the funkiness, with how cool this stuff can really happen. So yeah, right now I'm honing. I'm taking a few. I honed a lot, but I'm still taking a few bets. I'm taking a bet on PayPal. I think PayPal is still very undervalued. It's not on any exchanges. Obviously, I think No Limit Coin is going to have a great year. It had a nice run up to, I was like 50 cents, I believe. Have a little pullback. Most coins are right now. Stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff happening here. I think Vibe had a nice run up to almost 50 cents. Still look at that. Under 100 million market cap. Another thing I look at, if the market cap is close to $1 billion, you got to ask yourself, you got to be realistic. I know coins can pop up. I mean, Cardano, Tron, I know coins can pop up into the top 10, but you have to ask yourself, how likely is it your coin's going to be in the top 10? How many times can it X before it's like chilling with Cardano and Bitcoin Cash and Ripple? Like, you have to be realistic. So if you already have a coin that's 10 billion, that horse is ridden pretty far. And I would consider those more of a core position and not so much of a aggressive, if I'm trying to, take a little bit of a risk. So if I want risk in my altcoins, man, I'm looking at anything that's around 100 mil. Anything under that has a good team, I'm betting on, like, no doubt. There's so much room for a 10x, at least, at minimum, right? in my opinion. So those are just have always been my favorites. I've been with these coins since they were under 5 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil market cap, and they're just going to continue to grow. What are some small ones? Gonna get some Hive maybe, 50 mil. I mean, there's a lot of cheap ones right now. So yeah, that's what I like keeping my eye on. Definitely have something in my vault for these coins. Big positions and a lot of them. I like to take big positions in those. I don't know. I feel comfortable. I think, man, they're so cheap. How much cheaper can they really get? Just hang in there, hold. And it really pains me because I was shaving off a little bit of coin to get some fiat. And it pains me to sell something, even like, I happen to get rid of some of my Ethereum. And it pains me because it's like, man, I've held it for so long. Any of my coins, it was such a hard decision because it's like, man, the longer I hold something, the less likely I am going to sell it unless it's like had massive gains. And yeah, that's basically time equals money. So those longer you have those core positions, the longer you have these coins that you think aren't doing anything, before you know it, boom. So, but yeah, guys, soldiered out for you today. Just want to get a few points out. Can't keep it long. Gonna get some rest. Cheers. Peace.